Pope Pius XI have universally instituted the Feast of Christ the King in 1925. The Pope Pius connected the denial of Christ as king to the rise of secularism. At that time, secularism was on the rise, and many Catholics doubted Christ's authority, as well as the churches, and even doubted Christ's existence. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? The New Catholic Directory came out and said the amount of people practicing their faith today in the Archdiocese of Boston who go to church every week is 8%. The Christian world was witnessing the rise of dictatorships in Europe and saw Catholics being taken in by these earthly leaders. Just as the Feast of Corpus Christi was instituted when devotions to the Eucharist was at a low, the Feast of Christ the King was instituted during a time when respect for Christ and the Church was waning, when the feast was most needed. Today, the same distrust of authority exists, although the problem has gotten worse. Individualism has been embraced to such an extreme that for many, the only authority is the individual self. Many feel uncomfortable with titles such as King and Lord being used for Christ because these titles seem to be borrowed from oppressive regimes. The kingship of Christ, however, is the one of humility and service. Jesus said, "You know, those who are recognized as rulers over the Gentiles lord it over them, and the great ones make their authority over them felt. But it shall not be that way with you. Rather, whoever wishes to become a great among you will be your servant. Whoever wishes to be first must be the slave of all. For the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for the many." Jesus knew the oppressive nature of secular kings, and in contrast to them, he connected his role as king to humble service and commanded his followers to be servants as well. As we come to the end of the church's year, we celebrate the fact that Christ will triumph. While Christ will return to judge the nations, his teachings spell out a kingdom of justice and judgment balanced with radical love, mercy, peace, and forgiveness. When we celebrate Christ as King, we are not celebrating an oppressive ruler, but one willing to die for humanity and whose loving kindness endures forever. As we say that today we are in a world of narcissism, of self-love. You can't give yourself away to another if you are the center of all. Christ wants us to put our center in him, to follow him. And in there is peace, there is love, there is justice, and there is truth. The world is, as they say, going to hell in a handbasket, but it is because we have failed to be the Christ we are to be in this world.